So Ancient in CS2 is an incredibly underrated map, at least in my opinion. But it is a map where if you don't know util, smokes especially, it becomes impossible to win rounds on the T side, and even CT side. So today we're going to focus on throwing some smokes on both the T and CT side. That's going to make this map a lot easier to play, and honestly I think you'll enjoy this map a lot more. And I'm not going to guarantee anything, but in my experience these smokes win you a lot more rounds. But anyways, without more yapping, let's jump right in. So to start things off, obviously we're in T-spawn, and this first smoke is going to be for red room. And I know there's a lot of people that end up using the instant smokes, but what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go over all of those. I'm going to show you one smoke to throw that's consistent. That way you don't have to remember all the different spawn locations. We're just going to make it easy here. So to get to this lineup, we're going to look left of spawn, look at this rock here. We're going to tuck ourselves in the corner. And the thing I like about this area here is that there's actually a few smokes you can throw from the same exact location. But anyways, keep things simple. All you do is lock yourself in with this rock. You want to aim your crosshair in between these two branches of the tree. Look at this little brick here. And you want a W jump throw. What this will do is it bounces perfectly on the stairs and lands perfectly in the doorway. And this smoke, as you can see, is incredibly crucial for taking mid control. But if you're looking for another piece of sporting util, maybe to cover heaven here, that's what we'll throw next. So as I said before, you're going to want to lock yourself in the same exact corner here. Just tuck yourself up against the rock. But instead of aiming at the brick, like for the red room smoke, we're going to want to aim at this little corner piece here. And then just normal jump throw. As you can see when this one flies, it'll bounce off this wall here and land perfectly covering heaven. Now this one is good for a few different reasons, especially if you're taking mid control. You don't have to worry about them swinging through cave and peeking you here. And likewise, if you're pushing through B main and trying to take cave control, it allows you to run up to cave without having to worry about mid at all. So now that we have our red room and heaven smokes covered, the last missing piece here is donut. Once again, the smoke is in the same exact location. You want to tuck yourself up into this rock. And for this, what I like to do is I'll take my crosshair basically from the red room smoke and just move it up and to the left until you meet this little gap where you can see in between the bricks here. You just normal jump throw. As you can see as it flies, it'll land off this little ledge, bounce perfectly, cover donut. So sticking to smokes that we can throw from spawn, there's one more smoke here, and this is for cave. You'll see here in a second why I like this smoke so much. Basically what we're going to want to do for this is run out of spawn, tuck yourself in this corner here. Then once you're stuck in the corner here, what you want to do is aim all the way up at these bricks next to the window. You're going to aim dead in the middle of this brick here, the one that sticks out the most, just right in the middle of it, and then jump throw. And as you can see when this one lands, it lands really deep into cave. The reason I like this one a lot more than the one in the entrance is that if you smoke off the entrance, it allows people to get in these really strong positions here to where you can't see them from heaven. So now with all these smokes out of the way, we're going to finally leave spawn and we're going to head over to A. And these smokes also are going to be thrown from the exact same location. So to throw them, what we're going to do is walk over to these stairs, tuck ourselves right in the middle of this railing here. And the first smoke we're going to throw is the one for donut. And this is the one I see people miss the most, so we'll go over that one first. But like I said, tuck yourself in the middle of this railing here. Look up to not the first diamond, but the second diamond here. And then just normal jump throw. As you can see, it bounces off the top of this wall outside of temple here. Lands perfectly inside of donut. And next we're going to smoke off CT. So like I said, tuck yourself in the same middle of the railing here. And instead of the second diamond, we're going to go over to this middle piece here where they're missing the little pieces. You're going to look at the diamond below, go up, and I like looking at the left little corner of the diamond here. And then jump throw. Now smoke does have some leeway, so you don't have to be exactly perfect, but as you can see, it does land in CT. And as you can see, the smoke completely covers absolutely everything. Now for these two smokes, you guys are probably wondering, hey, what about temple? And truth be told, a lot of the smoke lineups I just don't enjoy for temple in CS2. In CSGO they worked well, but in CS2, most of the smoke lineups will land about here. And that spills out and covers a lot of area that doesn't need to be covered. Instead, we're going to show you a quick little lineup that you can throw on the way to site. And this one's just a lot easier than even throwing a lineup in the first place. Then for the smoke, all you need to do is, as you're running out on the site with your team, you'll look at this little shadow here above the corner of the wall here above boost. Aim above the shadow, pretty much anywhere in this general direction, and as you're running, you just throw it. And this one lands a lot deeper and covers not nearly as much. This one I even messed up a little bit, but as you can see, nobody can hide in this corner now or spill out from temple. So now to move over to B site. I'm going to show you guys two different areas of locations for smokes to throw. First is going to be safer and in this corner here. And the next is going to be basically an entire site execute from this door here. But we're going to start off for the safe execute, as I think this is what most people probably want to know. So there's going to be two smokes obviously for the B site. That's going to be for short and long. We're not going to worry about cave here. There's a dedicated smoke that I'm going to throw here in a second after both of the two sets of smokes are done, but that's an entirely different discussion, so we're just going to focus on short and long. As I said though, you're going to run all the way into this corner here. For the first smoke, we're going to throw for short. So it's really easy. All you have to do is line up in this middle section of the pillar here, aim to the left, and then jump throw. As you can see when it lands lands perfectly for short. And this one I like because it also smokes off this angle here where people often hide ahead of the smokes. As you can see, it's completely covered. You're not going to get peeked by anybody in that corner. And then once again, from that same exact location, this is be for the long smoke. Instead of aiming over here, we're going to aim all the way over here towards the leaves. And we're going to aim at this X here, but in the dark area where it's not covered by the leaves. And then just jump throw. As you can see when this lands, it'll drop all the way down. And the smoke will cover all of long. And the one thing I do really like about both of these smokes is that they are from an extremely safe spot. Now for the next set of smokes, this is the one I like to throw a lot more because I like to be more involved in taking the site and actually being with my team for the executes, similar to the temple smoke I showed you over on A. So it allows you to be a lot closer to the fight rather than tucked in the corner here. What we're going to want to do though is line ourselves up with the X in the door here. And the first smoke we're going to throw is for short. We're going to aim all the way up at the top of this leaf here. And then just left click throw. And that one basically throws the exact same short smoke as before, but this one pops a little bit deeper. Then for the long smoke, all we're going to do is aim at this box here. We're going to look right at the 7, but over towards the corner, like the framing of the box pretty much, and then jump throw. This is going to be for our long smoke. As you can see, these smokes both do the exact same job. They're from a much closer location, and it's a lot easier to be with your team here and ready to help trade any angles as you're throwing the smokes or directly after. But by far my favorite part of this execute is that not only can you throw the 2 smokes, but there's also an insane molly that you can throw from the exact same lineup. So to throw that, we're going to aim all the way up this area in the gap of the leaves here, and then just left click throw. As you can see, this one pops, covers all of Faceit. And since I show a cave smoke at the end, there's going to be 2 different cave smokes that I use. The first one is going to be the easiest one, and there's going to be a more difficult one that covers a little bit of a better area. For both these smokes, once again, we're going to tuck ourselves all the way in this corner. And yes, I know you could throw smokes from this exact location for an entire round at this point, but we're still here. Anyways, we're going to look right where we throw the short smoke from, but instead of throwing it at this corner of the pillar here, we're going to aim dead in the middle of the square here, and then just jump throw. Now, although the smoke is incredibly easy and does cover cave, it does have a lot of extension out of cave itself. And it becomes incredibly easy for somebody to lurk out of like this position here and fight the backside without being seen. So instead, for a little bit better of a smoke with no extensions at all, we're going to tuck ourselves in the same exact corner once again. We're going to aim all the way up above the doorway. We're going to go all the way to the left here. And we're going to see this first brick, aim all the way at the bottom right-hand corner of it, and W jump throw. As soon as you see, kind of lands in a crazy spot. It'll land in this corner. But it has very minimal extension onto the site here, and it basically becomes impossible for them to lurk out of cave into any of these locations. So now for the last smoke of the video, we're going to throw a smoke for elbow and mid. This is one of the best CT side smokes that you can throw. So since I know a lot of you guys don't want to sit here and spend the time learning all 5 different spawn location lineups, the insta smokes, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to split it into 2 smokes. So to make this simple, we're going to split this up into 2 lineups. The first one is going to be if you're spawning on the left side of CT, and the second is going to be if you're spawning on the right side of CT. For the first spot on the left, we're going to want to run all the way into this corner here right out of spawn. Then once you're in this corner, we're going to want to aim all the way up at the top of this roof. The best way I like to line it up is I'll look at this little half brick here, this half brick here. You want to go dead in the middle of them. And this one is a shift, walk, jump throw. So you're going to want to hold shift, walk, and then as soon as your crosshair meets this piece here, you're going to throw. So shift, walk, throw. Sorry, shift, walk, jump, throw. As you can see, lands deep, elbow smoke. Next for the second lineup, you're spawning on the right side of CT. We're going to run all the way over to this piece here outside of cave, tuck yourself in the corner, aim just under this leaf here in the middle of the brick, and jump throw. And as you can see, once again, perfect elbow smoke. Now with all these smokes out of the way, you guys should have a lot better of an understanding of how to use util on Ancient. And I can't really speak on what will happen for your guys' games, but in my experience, knowing these smokes has helped me win so many more rounds. But now with all that yapping out of the way, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, sub, all that great stuff down below. It does help me out greatly. We're getting very close to 3,000 subs. So if we can get there, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But that's all from me. I'm done yapping. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.